We all know the feeling of feeling like maybe you got an illness that can't be cured, or something, or you feel a certain pain here and you think it's cancer, and because of that it completely ruins your day. It takes the color out of the sky, like the sound don't make sound no more, and you're completely depressed until you go to the hospital. And the doctor tells you you don't have cancer. It's just a pain on your side and there's nothing to be worried about. That feeling of you don't have cancer, you're not gonna die, makes the whole day feel like heaven. Prior to that, you may have looked at people who were healthy, who you knew were healthy, and you felt like, man, they're so lucky. And you even looked back maybe a few days ago when you were completely healthy, and you even felt maybe some envy. You're like, man, I was so healthy and I really didn't appreciate it. And it's only when you're met with the potentiality of dying, of meeting your maker, of experiencing the ultimate separation and disintegration, which is death, only experiencing an illness that could potentially ruin your life, that's the only time you could really appreciate your health, which is your number one asset, health and time, right? And the feeling that you get when you feel like you're losing your health and then you regain it back is the sense of relief. That sense of relief comes with an appreciation of your health. So you feel, oh, okay, it's not cancer. And that feeling, oh, you almost on the inside of yourself, you almost hug yourself and you almost hold on to the health to the health that you already have, and you enjoy your day even more. You may go home and watch a movie, but the movie feels even greater. And what caused that was the feeling of losing something and gaining it back, right? And prior to that, you didn't have access to those feelings. Prior to that, you didn't have access to that feeling of gratitude. And the only way for you to really feel the true nature of gratitude, of having something so valuable, is for you to almost lose it. And just a reminder, we're having 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code MINDFUL, and that's only available for this month. You can purchase all of our new courses like Emotional Mastery and the Charisma Blueprint using the coupon code MINDFUL for 50% off. And you can work with me one-on-one using the coupon code MINDFUL for 20% off. Okay, so I'll see you guys inside, and let's continue. I'm gonna give you guys an example of one. By the way, people, I write a lot of the times. I like writing, and this is some of my writings. And I use an AI voice to translate my writing into a audiobook. I don't think I'm ever gonna release it, but the only way I release it is through YouTube. But let me tell you guys what I wrote about this. This was a few months ago.
When we feel the threat of losing something, it triggers a primal instinct within us to protect and preserve what we value. This phenomenon can be compared to a sailor lost at sea, longing for land. After being adrift for days or weeks, the sight of land becomes both a lifeline and a symbol of hope. The sailor's appreciation for solid ground intensifies because they have experienced the fear and uncertainty of being separated from it.
And it's almost like, and unfortunately, like I'm going to tell you in the video, a lot of people never allow their partners to feel that. They're like a shitty parent, not a shitty parent, but they're like a hypersensitive parent that can't stand seeing their kids cry. Bitch, you better let that kid cry. That's how they grow. Sorry, do not call single mothers bitches. That is sexist. Sorry, Melissa. Jesus Christ, it's the holiday season. All right, let's keep, But a lot of them don't allow their partners to feel that way, and that's a mistake. That's just a mistake.
Similarly, when we face the possibility of losing someone or something important to us, we become acutely aware of their significance in our lives. The fear of separation awakens a deep sense of attachment and love within us. This heightened emotional response is often a result of realizing the potential void that would be left behind if we were to lose what we hold dear.
It's almost like if you're negotiating and you don't want to give this up. Like there's something, this is like your most valuable piece, right? But they don't want to budge, but you're really desperate. So you offer this because you like it. You're like, take this part. No, actually, you offer this part. You're like, just take this part and that's it. You're like, no, I want the whole thing. And if you're really desperate, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Take the whole thing, right? This is similar to the emotions we feel. You're like, hey, Bob the girlfriend. She's trans. Hey, Bob the girlfriend. I like you. Right? and you're offering, this. I like you. I like being with you. You see their text. Hey. And you're like, you know what? I like them a lot, but I don't want to text them now. I'll text them later, right? But now you feel like you're losing them. You're like, oh my God, you know what? Fuck it. I'll offer you all of this, which is, please respond. Please respond. Please respond. We're always working with a certain part, with certain parts of our emotions. We only express the bigger part of our emotions when we feel like it's our last option. It's like Dragon Ball Z. Goku only turned Super Saiyan when he felt like his life was in danger, right? You only turn Super Saiyan when you feel like your life is in danger, but you can't fake it. Your life, you actually have to be in danger for you to turn Super Saiyan. And this person does like you, but they don't have access to those intense emotions because you never create the situation for them to feel it. Like when people die, they usually, those feelings were always there. The feeling of mourning, like, oh my God, I cannot believe I lost someone so special. That feeling was always there. But it only required that circumstance of them dying for you to actually feel the complete range of how much love you felt for them. Only the depth of that person will allow you to release it. You can't just feel it willy-nilly unless they pull away, unless they create distance. You allow people to feel the full range of how they feel about you through this. And just keep listening.
When we ultimately regain what was temporarily lost or threatened, a feeling of relief washes over us. This relief is accompanied by a surge of neurochemicals in our brain, including oxytocin and dopamine. Oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone, plays a crucial role in social bonding and attachment, making us feel closer to the person or thing we almost lost.
And it's not that you're creating that feeling out of nowhere. What you're doing, you're like an alchemist, like a magician. And you are allowing this person to feel this. Most people don't have access to those emotions. And the feeling of relief is the best way to allow this person to feel what they really feel about you. Because people, again, the brain, it's very taxing on us to be at such a high state of feeling and appreciation. That feeling is only reserved for whenever we are going to lose something. Right? That's only there to conserve what you already have. And so once you have what you already have, it'll go down. It can't always stay up. The key is to find ways to allow it to arise from time to time.
Dopamine, known as the reward hormone, reinforces the positive emotions associated with the reunion or restoration, further strengthening our bond. The combination of relief and the release of these neurochemicals deepens our appreciation and love for what we have regained. It reminds us of the fragility and impermanence of life, prompting us to cherish and value the people and things that bring us joy and fulfillment.
And people might say that's manipulation. No, that's reality. You are allowing people to see reality eyeball to eyeball. And reality, you can't mentally psych yourself into that feeling. You have to lose it. And the beauty about life is that life comes with conflict. Life comes with conflict and life comes with misunderstandings. And life will always, always give you those opportunities to feel like you lost something and regain it. How? Because we don't know everything. We only see the world from our perspective. We don't know what's going on in somebody else's mind. We don't know what's going on the other side of the street. We can only focus on the here and now. And as a result, there's going to be things that you don't know. And how you handle uncertainty, a lot of times is an indication of how much anxiety you're going to feel. And most people do not handle uncertainty pretty well. Most people panic at the sight of uncertainty, just like a child panicking at the sight of a dark room with a devil inside. We also react to that the same way. So whenever you're in a relationship with someone, you're always going to have moments of insecurity. You're always going to have moments when you feel like you're going to lose this person, right? And unfortunately, we always end up appreciating our partners when we feel like we lost them and regained them. Our mind plays tricks on us. If our partner just pulls away a little bit because of work, yeah, they might have work, but there's a part of our brain that says, what if that's an excuse? You know? And so we have a lot of loose strings of insecurities because there's a lot of things we just don't know. And as a result, whenever we feel like this person might be making excuses not to see us, and then the next time we see them, they do something that removes all of those doubts that they don't love us. The removal of those doubts comes with a sense of relief. Or better yet, when you're talking to someone and they haven't texted you in the whole day, and then right before the day ends, you see their text and you feel like a sense of relief, and your whole night brightens up. This is the feeling that you have to make someone feel. Anybody that fell in love with you, you made them feel this way without knowing you. Maybe you didn't know, but something happened in your life when you were talking to them that made them feel insecure. Maybe it wasn't something you did, but maybe it was something that they saw in their imagination. The point is that you can't fall in love with someone if you don't go through those cycles of continual, I like them, I might be losing them, oh, they really like me, it's just in my head. I'm losing them, oh, no, it's just in my head. Your brain always causes this. Any slight of you pulling away from them because of work, or maybe your kids, or whatever, your grandma died, I don't fucking know. Any excuse that causes you to focus on other things, a human being, normal human beings, naturally feel like maybe you're losing interest. That's just human nature. And the problem is a lot of people are so insecure that they never allow that natural lowering of people's self-esteem. It's like a parent who doesn't allow kids to experience conflict because it hurts, or a parent who shields their kids from different bacterias or different foods, right? For example, nowadays kids have more peanut allergies than before. Why? Because kids are getting less exposed to peanuts in early childhood. So as a result, when they grow older, a lot of them end up having peanut allergies. But if their parents exposed them to the peanuts, a lot of kids wouldn't develop peanut allergies. And it's the same thing. A lot of us have relationships with people, and we sort of don't allow them to feel that pain. We don't allow them to feel maybe I'm losing interest in them because maybe you're not giving them all of your attention, right? If we don't allow the person to miss us, to feel like they need you, to maybe doubt whether or not you really have to work, all of those things are the important parts of falling in love, people. And if you're just like a parent who doesn't expose your kids to peanuts, if you don't do that, you're gonna have a sensitive kid who's allergic to fucking everything, even the air he breathes. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a partner who doesn't have that never really experienced pain on your behalf, right? Because by experiencing pain on your behalf, it creates the obsession in the person's brain for you. Like, that's why again, for example, the other day I had a ear thing, like ringing in my ear, and I still have it now. But the reason why I had it was because I started developing neck pain, and my whole head was like a crazy headache, and just everything was stiff. Even my temples were like my ear. I felt pressure going outward, and like just really bad. And I thought it was gonna be permanent. Well, the point is that it wasn't permanent. Well, I hope it's not permanent. The doctor told me that it's somatic tendinitis. I don't know, but the point is that they told me that if I take like muscle relaxers to remove the hypertension or the tension headache, it'll go away on its own, because it happened alongside with the tension headaches. Anyways, when she told me that, people, before that I was so sad. Right? I wasn't sad. I wasn't as sad as I used to. Before, I would have thought it was cancer, for real. But now I was just like meditating, like I was doing the meditation thing, but I still felt down. But I still was doing the meditation thing, thank God. And she told me that you shouldn't worry about it. And I got home, and when I got home, I just felt so happy. I felt so relieved. My energy was up, and I just felt I appreciated my ears even more. I appreciated being able to hear. Like, it brought me closer to the reality that I am healthy and I should appreciate it. And life always gives you health scares. Unfortunately, people insulate their partners from those types of relationship scares. They avoid conflict. They avoid arguing. And studies show that couples that argue and have conflict are couples that are healthier. Why? Because the couples that don't argue, it's not that they don't argue and they're devoid of aggression. Every human has aggression. Every relationship argues. It just means that they're suppressing, and it's gonna come out when it explodes. People are usually honest when they're angry, right? You have those types of relationships that the only time they say what they really feel is when they're angry, and when they say that, it comes off as too sharp, too strong, and too personal, and it ends up hurting the relationship. When if you would have just talked when you guys weren't angry, the relationship would have lasted because you would have created the type of environment that allows conflict, right? So that's why you have to learn to confront your partners. You have to learn conflict resolution. It's important, and that's why I have my course, Nice Guy and Nice Girl. It's a course for people who want to learn how to be more confrontational in a healthy way, how to develop your assertiveness. So if you're a man, that will make you more assertive and more, and it'll come across as more masculine. But if you're a woman, it'll help you overcompensate because you may have too much femininity. Now, if you're a masculine fucking Terminator chick, that's not the course, right? But usually that's like the whole gist of it. And all of my courses, like Nice Guy, is available to you using the coupon code MINDFUL. And with that, you can purchase my new courses, Emotional Mastery and Charisma Blueprint, at 50% off, on top of all the other courses. And using the same coupon code MINDFUL, you could purchase my one-on-one sessions that are private and confidential using the coupon code MINDFUL for 20% off, right? That's only available until the end of the month. But yeah, you got to give people the sense of relief. And the reason why is because whenever you're not there, before they feel relief, their brain is creating things in their minds about you. Your brain has this thing. For example, let's just say somebody throws you in prison, right? And you don't know why they put you in prison. And a lot of people will tell you that a lot of people who've been put in prison for an indefinite amount of time, and they don't know when they were going to come out, they say that if they would have known when they were coming out, it would have been easier, right? So if they did 15 years without knowing it was going to be 15 years, they would have been able to do 15 years a lot easier if they knew it was going to be 15 years. And if you're curious why this happens, let me explain it to you guys in a different way. This is from my writings.
From a scientific perspective, the brain has a remarkable ability to fill in gaps and amplify certain experiences, emotions, or sensations. This phenomenon can be observed in various scenarios, such as missing someone, reminiscing about the past, or craving certain foods. One explanation for this exaggeration lies in the way our memories are encoded and retrieved. When we miss someone, our brain tends to focus on the positive aspects of the relationship, filtering out negative experiences.
It's almost like the halo effect. It's the halo effect. It's confirmation bias. You want to be with them, so your brain has to frame the way you see them in your mind in a way that it knows that you're going to gravitate towards them. Like, for example, if you're a crackhead and crack has ruined your life, your brain is only going to show you the crackhead moments of you having fun as a way to inspire you to go crack out, and it'll completely mute and completely remove from the picture the reality that you're doing it in a dumpster. You've lost your family. You're not even going to think of that. It's only going to exaggerate that one part for the sole purpose of removing the pain that you feel and go towards pleasure.
This selective memory retrieval leads to an exaggerated perception of our affection towards that person. The brain naturally amplifies positive memories to reinforce our emotional connection and cope with the absence. Similarly, when we think about the past, our brain often emphasizes the positive aspects and downplays negative experiences. Mm-hmm. This nostalgic bias.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could also call it also creates repression. So where you repress the negative memory and you only exaggerate the positive. This happens a lot with people with Stockholm syndrome, where they'll just forget about the bad things that the perpetrator did, and it'll only focus on the positive things. This is what nice people do. People who get played, who get taken advantage of, especially naive people, tend to repress a lot of negative things and only focus on the positive. Children do this more. That's why children are so dumb. That's why they're so damned. All right, let's keep going.
Serves as a psychological mechanism to boost our overall well-being. By recalling predominantly pleasant memories, the brain creates a sense of nostalgia that evokes feelings of happiness and contentment. This nostalgic lens allows us to romanticize the past and remember it more fondly than it may have been. In the case of food cravings, the brain intensifies the desire for a specific food when it is temporarily unavailable. This can be attributed to the brain's reward system and the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine.
Or like for example, if you cut your arm off, right? A lot of people will have something phantom limb syndrome, where if I don't know if this is phantom limb syndrome, but where you feel like your hand is there and you feel the pain. Like you're like, I know my hand is not there, but I can still feel it. And a lot of people feel like it's sharp. Like your brain is used to certain sensations. When it gets used to certain sensations and it's not there no more, your brain will recreate it. Like I said, if you suffer hearing loss and you can't hear like you used to before, your brain will then just create more sounds inside of your head to overcompensate. When you miss someone and they're not there for you, your brain will create a mental image of them, which will cause you to crave that mental image to become a reality, right? And if the person actually manifests in real life, it'll just create a complete sense of relief. And you'll notice you'll feel positive emotions. You'll feel like the release of emotions, and you'll want to bond with them. But the feeling of relief that this reality is not true, that it was just in my head, creates that feeling of like, oh my God, I like them. Like, fuck everyone, I want this person. You create salience. Salience is a psychological term for what we choose to focus on. And we only choose to focus on what's important, which receives more salience, and also what will cause us to die, which will also receive even more salience. That's why parents focus more on the kid who stresses them out more than the kid who's perfect.
When we want to eat something but cannot, the anticipation and desire for that particular food grow stronger. The brain accentuates the craving to motivate us to seek out and obtain the desired food, as the satisfaction of fulfilling the craving is associated with pleasure and reward. From a broader scientific perspective, these exaggerations can be understood through evolutionary psychology. Our brains are wired to prioritize survival and maximize pleasurable experiences. Amplifying positive memories, intensifying cravings, and magnifying affection for loved ones serve as adaptive mechanisms to enhance our well-being, maintain social connections.
So when you're in prison and you're in there for 15 years without knowing it, your imagination is going to start filling in the blanks because there are things that you don't know. So what happens? It'll start giving you fantasies. You're never going to leave. This is going to be the worst thing ever. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. And you'll notice that there's an involuntary voice in your head that comes with it, with images, intense images. And it'll exaggerate what's not there, right? It'll make the situation worse. Now, with somebody that we like and they're creating distance, depending on the level of self-esteem, whenever they feel that feeling that you're pulling away, and again, this only works if you're pulling away in a subtle way. For example, rather than saying I'm seeing someone, you could just add somebody new to your Instagram. And if the person likes you, he'll notice or she'll notice that you added someone new, right? That subtle thing where they have to go an extra step to find out is a sign that they like you because they're really paying attention. But also that extra step makes them feel like you didn't do that intentionally. It's not like a manipulation tactic. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, because this is what people do when they get caught cheating. They add somebody and the partner notices and you're like, how you notice that? It's because they were checking. And the only reason why they were checking is because they like you. You know what I'm saying? So they think that maybe you're pulling away, right? The doubt comes up in their mind. And all of a sudden, because they don't know why they feel that doubt, but they still feel it, their brain is going to try to give you a reason why. And usually it's worst case scenario, they're leaving, right? Just like the worst case scenario in prison, you're never leaving. You know what I'm saying? So you start thinking that they're leaving, and in that moment of you thinking that you're losing them, your brain all of a sudden will start to glamorize this person. It'll start exaggerating positive traits and diminishing negative traits, and it'll start to create a crystal, like somebody getting like crystal being crystallized in a cave. It'll just start attracting minerals and creating a beautiful image of you until it's broken and shattered through the feeling of relief. They're back. I didn't lose them, but now you have created an artifice of this person. Now there's a statue, And because the whole time you were mourning their death, now they're back. Now you feel like they've come to life. And it comes with an extra sense of relief, with a release of dopamine, but also with a feeling of closeness through oxytocin. I think both of them are not, I don't know. People, neuroscientists, I don't know. Don't be judging me, Melissa, the neuroscientist. That is not what I heard in my studies. Imagine Melissa being a neuroscientist. But that's how it is, man. And so when we like people, we just don't want them to feel that. Fuck that shit, man. Sometimes live your life, and they're gonna eventually do that. That's why when you're single and you don't care about someone and you live your normal life, you'll notice you do things that hurts their feelings. You're like, look, man, I don't want to go out tonight. I'm tired. They're like, but I prepared all week. And you're like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm tired. I don't want to go out. Let's just hang out next week. And they're like, all right, man, but this is some bullshit, right? And so, but if you like them, you will never do that. You're like, no, let's still go out. Live your normal life. That their normalcy will cause the person to feel like they're not, because you're not prioritizing them, you know? And again, there's nothing wrong with prioritizing people. What I'm trying to tell you, this is just the message. I'm trying to encourage you to live your normal life. Living your normal life will always cause people to feel insecure because you're minding your business and they feel like maybe you should give them more attention. And just like a child, they'll resent the fact that you're not giving them attention. And some people with pride will leave and you don't want them because they're not vulnerable. Like you gotta be willing to be rejected for the sake of loving somebody. You have to, or else you don't really love them. You love your ego more, right? So with this comes, you have to expose your ego and say, shoot me. It's the sense of insecurity. And if you're not willing to put yourself in that vulnerable state, or if they're not willing to put themselves in that vulnerable state, then that means that they're not for you. Let me show you what I said about this. Listen.
Love often comes with a natural sense of insecurity due to the vulnerability and emotional investment involved. This insecurity stems from a fear of losing the person we love or not being reciprocated in the same way. However, this insecurity can actually intensify our thoughts about the person and make us think of them more frequently. The psychology...
It's the insecurity that creates the love. Why do you think humans are so close to each other? Because they know that by themselves they can't survive. Humans were skinny, weird-looking, bipedal creatures. We don't have any physical protections that other animals do, or even Neanderthals did. So because of our insecurities, it caused us to get closer to each other. Even though we didn't want to, we had to. So the insecurity forces people to get close to you. Now, they may not feel like they're forced, but their brain will say, I don't like feeling this sense of insecurity. And as a result, I want to get closer to this person to feel secure. That's what love is. Love is there to take you from the insecure state to secure.
Behind this phenomenon lies in our desire for security and reassurance. When we feel insecure in a relationship, our minds instinctively seek ways to regain a sense of stability and certainty. One way to achieve this is by thinking about the person we love continuously. This constant thinking serves as a form of psychological self-soothing.
Like a dog who smells the shirt of its owner when it's not there. That shirt will keep you in that dog's weirdo looking mind. And when they see you, they'll feel that sense of relief. But that shirt will also tell that dog that you're not there. It's a constant reminder that you're not there, because in their minds they see you, but when they look around, you're not there. So it makes the reality more shitty and it makes their imagination better. So now when they see you in person, it feels like their dreams came true. It's like seeing an alien, people. You've only seen aliens in your mind. Or like, it's like going to the zoo. It's like, oh my God, that's fucking Coco the chimp. He's there. It's not here no more. He's there. There's a feeling of seeing things in your mind and finally seeing them in person that has almost like a sublime experience. And that's what happens when you're not around and they see you. That's in Robert Greene is writing a book about the sublime. And I imagine he's going to talk about that, the sublime nature of love, and how losing love and regaining it has a sublime experience. It's almost like otherworldly. And that's why people gravitate towards it, because it's a way to escape reality. It's a way to escape the mundanity of normal, routine life.
as we convince ourselves that the person still cares for us and that our bond remains intact. Neurologically, this process involves the activation of specific brain regions associated with longing and attachment. When we think about someone we love, the brain releases neurochemicals such as oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. These chemicals contribute to feelings of pleasure, bonding, and well-being, reinforcing our emotional connection with the person in question. In the absence of the loved one, our imagination can run wild. Our minds may create exaggerated scenarios, longing for their presence and imagining their thoughts and actions towards us. This imaginative process is influenced by our deep-seated insecurities and the fear of rejection or loss. Paradoxically, these exaggerated thoughts can further fuel our feelings of love and infatuation. The intensity of our perceived connection grows as we invest more thoughts and emotions into the person, creating a sense of longing and desire. However, the key to understanding the role of relief in this dynamic lies in our need for validation and confirmation. When our exaggerated imagination is proven wrong, and we are assured of the other person's love and commitment, a profound sense of relief washes over us. This relief reinforces our attachment and deepens our emotional bond. The contrast between our insecurities and the relief of being proven wrong amplifies our love, as we realize how much we value and cherish the person who dispelled our fears.
And what happens then is that in your mind, you'll say, holy fuck, I'm really going crazy for this person. I must like him if I'm making up shit in my mind. And them feeling that you're not giving them the full attention will create an image of yourself in their minds to substitute you. Since you're not here, I'm going to create the image. For example, you know, the tinnitus, the sound in the ear, they say that if you experience hearing loss, right? I didn't experience hearing loss, but if you experience hearing loss, your brain is used to a certain level of sound. So if it's not hearing that certain level of sound because you lost your hearing, your brain is going to create the sound. And so it's going to create a humming sound, right? It's the same thing. If you feel like you're losing someone, your brain is going to substitute the person and create a mental image of that person. But mental images are usually exaggerations of reality. So it's going to create a mental image of something greater than what it really is. Just like thinking when you go to a party, you usually imagine the party to be better. You usually imagine the next thing you're going to do to be even better, right? So you usually imagine the partner who you feel like you're losing because they got to go to work. You usually imagine them in your mind as more attractive. And they become almost like your advocate. Like they become my advocate. They start telling good things about me in their minds. So that the next time they see me, all of a sudden, I'll notice they got the little fucking psycho look in their eyes. And like, oh shit, okay. All right, they're really liking me now, right? So that's it. Is you got to give them that feeling of relief. That feeling of relief will open their emotions more and will make them more romantic towards you. Because you might notice, though, they might even hug you harder. They might give you a gift, or they might even tell you how they miss you and stuff like that. So that's the beauty of it, and that's the beauty of loving people, and that's the danger of loving people, because if you do this, you might get hurt, right? But again, develop a meditation practice. You got to purchase The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Get my I gotta give a refund right now. Somebody purchased my course using a coupon code, and they didn't use the coupon code properly, so I gotta give 50% off back to them. But Emotional Mastery, it's a course for that. Or you could go to a Vipassana 10-day retreat. Just go to dharma.org, or just go to Google 10-day silent retreat, Dharma, and you'll find it, and you'll be able to sign up. Anybody who does it and signs up, please let me know, okay? If you end up doing a free meditation retreat, the 10-day, I'm going to give you access to my course. You tell me what course, and I'm going to give you access to it. It's a free thing, but you got to prove to me that you actually did the 10-day retreat. Or you guys can talk to me if you actually finish. If you actually do this, the meditation retreat, and you prove that you did it, let me know, and I'll give you a call, and we can have a quick conversation as a thank you for actually doing what I said, okay? Anyways, if you guys want to learn more about this, get my courses. I teach you guys exactly how to do these types of things in my course, okay? All right.